He knows I'm a cop. I identified myself. This guy's trying to kill me, and I didn't want to die. Drop the gun, and bang, 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 and he starts running, and I start chasing him.
It's just past 2 a.m. and you're on I-95 with nothing but your headlights and a broken down SUV. That's exactly where Corey Jones is right now. He's 31. He plays drums in his church band. Tonight, he's driving home from a gig when his SUV dies on an off-ramp in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. So he does what anyone would do. He calls roadside assistance. You've made this call before: the hold music, the slow small talk, the boredom of waiting for a tow truck. Corey is calm. He's polite. He has no idea this call is being recorded from the first second to the last. And here's promise number 1, that recording exists, and in this video, you're going to hear exactly what it captured.
Down right now!
911.
Hey, this is Gardens Alpha 1. I just got one down. I just shot one person. I'm at that off-ramp right behind Doubletree. Black male.
You're behind the Doubletree?
I'm on the off-ramp, 95 southbound off-ramp, off the Doubletree. I am not...
Here's promise number 2. The man who approaches Corey's car that night tells police one story. The recording tells a different one.
Are you aware this is a voluntary procedure and that you may decline to continue at any time?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you feel as though you are emotionally prepared to provide an accurate reenactment?
I believe so.
Okay. Do you have any questions about the reenactment procedure before we begin?
No.
Okay.
No,
Everything
no.
good?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to provide will be the truth, the entire truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to go into as great as detail as you can.
Okay.
Why you were here, how you came about this. But first, I just have a few preliminary questions. Sure. You currently work for the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department?
Yes, sir. I do.
How long have you worked for them?
Since April of 2015.
April of 2015?
Yes, sir.
Any previous law enforcement before that?
Yes, sir. I was a sergeant with the Atlantis Police Department, and I started in Atlantis, I think, 2007, and I just wanted more. Once I topped out there, I wanted more.
Okay. What are your current duty assignments here with Palm Beach Gardens?
Currently assigned to road patrol on the midnight shift, late night, 7:30 p.m., 19:30 to 06:30.
Okay. Was that your shift?
Keep your voice up. I can't.
Okay, sorry.
Was that your shift that you were working last night?
Yes,
also?
last night was my Friday. We worked 4 day on, 4 day off schedule. Last night was my last day on.
Okay. What do you normally wear in your duties?
On a normal days, we were full uniform with the badge and the name tag. For the last, since September 30th or so, we've had a lot of vehicle burglaries in our area and everything, and we were getting hit with them a lot. So starting last week, we started with this. We were setting up decoy cars, and at midnight, I'm Alpha 1 cover shift. So basically I have Beat 1, which is far out west, and there's not really that much happens. So they also use me as a cover unit. At midnight, I would go set up the decoy cars and everything like that. I would dress down in street clothes, and I've been doing this for the last 4 nights. And I would either take this van, or we have a gold Crown Victoria unmarked, and I would take that and basically drive around residential neighborhoods and everything, blacked out, no windows down, see if we see any burglaries occurring.
Okay. Did you have anything on you this evening after you dressed down, showing that you're a police officer?
Yes.
Did you have a badge or anything with you?
Inside, first of all, I always have my wallet badge with me,
Okay.
with a police ID, which is per policy. And on top of that, inside my van, I had my tactical vest with had police in the front, police on the back, my name actually stitched onto the vest, Officer Raja, and I had my duty holster with me.
By the end of this video, you'll know which one to believe. Because in the next few minutes, everything changes. A car pulls up, a man gets out, he's not in uniform, he's not driving a marked car, and within seconds, Corey Jones will be dead. If you want the full breakdown of what actually happened on that off-ramp, the evidence, the contradictions, the verdict, hit subscribe right now, because this case gets darker with every detail. Corey Jones didn't know he was about to become the only unbiased witness to his own death, and you're about to hear it happen. To understand what went wrong that night, you first need to understand what should have happened. Here's promise number 1, delivered. The man approaching Corey's car is Officer Nouman Raja, Palm Beach Gardens Police. But tonight, he's not on a normal patrol. He's working undercover, dressed in plainclothes, driving an unmarked van as part of a burglary detail miles away from Corey's off-ramp. Department protocol is simple. If you're undercover and something happens, you call for backup. You don't approach alone. Raja breaks both rules in the same night. He drives past Corey's car once. He doesn't see anyone inside. Then he makes a U-turn, comes back the wrong way up the off-ramp, and parks diagonally, blocking the exit. Investigators later describe this as a tactical positioning move, the kind you use when you expect a confrontation, not when you think a car is empty.
RC is called Lux, and across the road is downtown at the Gardens, Dirty Martini. Lux, Lux. They were having a hip-hop concert tonight, and there was supposed to be a huge crowd gathering tonight. So we decided to, if you open the back of the van up, you'll see 8 riot shields, this, that gear, the loudspeaker, crime scene tape, and sticks, And our thing was this: hey, if anything happens, if there's a big incident at Lux, if there's a big fight, we need to clear the crowd, we're going to forget about the 21 and report with the van immediately to Lux, so officers have quick access to it. And and number 2 thing that was discussed was this: while I'm in street clothes, while I'm in this, I do not do any takedowns, I do not do anything, but just in case of an emergency, something happens, that's why I have the vest and everything identifying on me. I'm supposed to call a road unit to come out to handle any situations.
Okay, just to go back kind of quick, for other people that aren't police officers.
Yes, I'm sorry.
If you would, just in the future, stop using the signal codes and stuff, because somebody may not understand it. So you use 94, which we know is backup, and 21, which is burglaries.
Yes.
So if you can just use plain talk
no
for the future, just in case, because some of the non-police officers may not understand what you were talking about at that point. You satisfied with that? You want to go into the reenactment? Or
You said you're supposed to call the backup during situations. What situations are you supposed to call backup?
Like, for example, if I'm in one of the residential neighborhoods and I see a burglary occurring or something like that, or a suspicious vehicle or suspicious person, to call a mark unit, give them my position where I'm at, and tell them, hey, this is where this person is through. And then once the mark unit comes out there, makes the initial stop, comes in contact, throw my vest on if I need to and everything like that, and then go ahead and make contact.
Now here's what makes this case different from almost any other police shooting you've heard about. Corey is still on the phone with roadside assistance. The call is still recording. Every sound, the approach, the confrontation, the gunfire gets captured in real time. There's no clear announcement of police before the shooting starts. 3 shots ring out. Corey runs. He's hit again. The entire exchange lasts only seconds, far too fast for the sequence of events Raja later describes to investigators.
what happened this evening? Start as far back as you have to.
Okay.
Try to go into as much detail as you can.
Okay.
If you need to stop, stop. If you need a break, tell us, let us know. Okay, and then try to be as elaborate as you can with what happened, how it happened, why it happened, and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, tonight at I couldn't really start this operation, if you want to call it, till midnight because I was actually a backup officer on a domestic call in Evergreen. And second I cleared the domestic call as the backup officer, I went to the station, changed out and everything through, and got into the van, had the van prepped and everything like that. And I sent Sergeant Anderson a message because one of the things was we were assuming that these people that were doing a lot of the burglaries are coming from Jupiter area, from the Heights. And we've checked, and we've seen a couple of these suspicious people that we've, checked out with before and everything like that, walking south on Military, walking south on Central. So I started my day I started on PGA. I went down Military, all the way down to Hood Road, went into Donald Ross Village, drove around there, and then came down Central, down PGA. And then I came back here, went to the gas station, got myself a drink and some snacks, which are still inside the van. And I started to do the communities. And as I was doing this, I was sending messages to Sergeant Anderson on the laptop. Hey, I'm going to this community. This is what I just did. This is what I just did. So he's aware of the whole. So the chain of command is going. So he's aware of my location at all times. I did the first community was the Isles. I did the Isles, and I was about to go into Evergreen, and I was just about to go there and everything. And I remember that one of the 2 units responded to a domestic disturbance at the Marriott. And the Lux Club is located on the 1st floor of the Marriott. They responded to, like, on the 5th floor or something like that, to a domestic disturbance that was pretty heated. And so, Sergeant Anderson went there too. And as Sergeant Anderson was there, I remember him calling on the radio, hey, we have a disturbance going on downstairs in Lux in the nightclub. Have officers respond. So you kept on hearing that different officers. I had the radio on, like, officers, I'm on the way, I'm on the way. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, this might be that call that, it just might break loose. So let me take the van, get out of where I was at, and start heading down in this direction to be close to it, just in case if something broke. I have the riot gear, everything like that we discussed about. So I turned on from military to PGA, and I was going eastbound on PGA. And as I was coming here and everything, I saw this vehicle stopped here, didn't see anybody inside, nothing. And I called out, I believe, on the radio, and I said that I thought it was a disabled vehicle on the side of the road or an abandoned vehicle. So I saw this vehicle and everything, and I was like, okay, I've got this vehicle on the side of the road, and, I'm going to check out with it, make sure everything's okay. And, when I drove past it, I could not see anything, any occupants inside the vehicle. Or if
you drove past it, which way?
Eastbound.
Okay.
Eastbound. So I went down to the next light right there. I made a U-turn, came in here, and as I was coming in, I was like, it's like, all right, it's just an abandoned vehicle. This is the on-ramp. I'm just going to pull in front of it like this and park in front and put my flashes on, dispatch the TAC to see if I can see the owner. Maybe they walk to the gas station or have it towed, do what we need to do. But, it's like, and this is where I'm kind of like kicking my, it's like, it's like thinking about hindsight. It's like our, golden rule. It's like, always act like a vehicle's always occupied. Never take that chance of, like, it's a vehicle not being unoccupied. If I knew the vehicle was occupied, I would never put myself in a fatal funnel situation like this by pulling in.
Weeks later, in a formal reenactment interview, Raja walks investigators through his version, step by step. His own account, on record, doesn't match the timeline the recording shows. So you have two competing stories. One from a trained officer defending his actions, one from a phone call that can't lie, can't forget, and can't be talked out of what it heard. Which one actually holds up? The evidence raises a question Raja himself has to answer. Here's promise number 2, delivered. Did Corey Jones ever actually hear the word police before he saw a gun pointed at him? The recording suggests he didn't have time to. Let's break down exactly what doesn't add up. 5 things. 1. The timing. Raja claims he identified himself, watched Corey draw a gun, and gave a verbal warning all before firing. The recorded confrontation lasts a matter of seconds. That's not enough time for all of that to happen the way he describes it. 2. The parking position. Former FBI official Frank Figliuzzi has described Raja's parking maneuver as a tactical emergency position, one used specifically when you expect a confrontation, not when you believe a vehicle is abandoned. 3. The laser sight claim. Raja insists he saw a red laser dot from Corey's gun. That detail becomes central to his self-defense argument, and it's one investigator scrutinized closely against the physical evidence. 4. The uniform problem. Raja is dressed in plain clothes, in an unmarked van, in the middle of the night. Nothing about his appearance says police officer, at first glance. 5. The decision to go alone. Raja knew the protocol. He just explained it himself, in detail, to investigators. He broke it anyway. So ask yourself, is this a split-second misjudgment from a scared officer, or is this a story built after the fact, shaped to fit the legal definition of self-defense? Raja gets one chance to explain all of this directly in a formal, recorded reenactment interview with investigators.
Door swung open, and this guy jumps up, and I immediately got out of the van, and he's like, I'm okay, man. And at which point I said, hey man, police, can I help you? And the second I said police, he jumped back, and I clearly remember him drawing and pointing a gun at me. I saw that silver muzzle, and he had, I can swear on this, he had a Laser Max laser in the guide rod in the gun, and I saw that red light of that Laser Max flashing at me, and I immediately just shouted, drop the gun, and sorry.
Let's do this. Like, take a deep breath. Let's do this. Okay? Do you need a drink?
No.
Okay.
Sure.
Listen, I want you to take your time. I want you to be okay.
Yep.
Listen, why don't we
You want to walk?
go over
Can
here?
you go over here and show us where you were when this happened?
Absolutely. And
When you got out of the van, which way did you go?
right here, I came right here.
Hold on one second.
Yep.
Come back here.
Yes, sir.
Come back
Yes,
here.
sir.
Now, when you got out of the van, which way did you go?
In front. This is just like how it is. You know,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I immediately jumped out and I came right here. And at that point, I didn't have what I had on me. The only thing I had on me, because I was in plain, like my gun was still inside, my duty gun, my vest was inside, and the only thing I had was my backup gun, my department approved backup gun, in waistband holster inside with a shirt tucked in like this. And I immediately said, "Hey man, police, can I help you?" And at which point, that's when he jumped back and I saw him draw the gun right at me. Right after I said the word police, and it was just I kind of got like caught with my pants down at that point, and it just immediately it's like positive. Mm-hmm. It's just like, you know, your family flashes in front of you, your kids flash in front of you, and you're just and just immediately I drew down. I was like, drop the gun, and he didn't. He was right there, and I remember pulling the trigger I think 2 to 3 times, and he started running, and as he was running, I had my cell phone and I dialed. And I still remember putting my code in, and just like this, I had the gun, and I'm keeping an eye on this guy. And I put my code in, dialed 911, and I called dispatch right away because my radio was in the van. And the whole time, I'm like giving him commands, I'm yelling, screaming. I'm like, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. And as he's running, he gets about like right, just a little past where the guardrail starts, and he does this number, and I see his whole body spin, and I saw like a flash, a silver flash, like a metallic flash, come at me, and in my head, I said, aim, and I was like, aim, and I just picked that front sight right in the center mass, and I just pulled the trigger 3 times, and I saw him drop, and I saw something silver fall. And at which point I was still on the phone with dispatch, just felt like, get your radio. And I just held what I had right there. I couldn't really see where he dropped, what happened, if he moved or anything. And I'm like, I don't see him. I don't have a visual on him. And I started to walk backwards and everything, came back to the van, grabbed my radio, grabbed everything.
And that's exactly where his account starts to strain under its own weight. Do you think this was panic in the moment or a story built to fit the law? Drop your theory in the comments. In his own words, Raja walks investigators through the entire night, his patrol routine, the burglary detail, the moment he saw the abandoned car and decided to check it out alone. And then he says something you don't expect from an officer defending a justified shooting. He describes his own positioning as a mistake.
It was Arlotta, Nico Arlotta. And Arlotta had his rifle slung up and sprag everything. I'm like, guys, I lost sight of him right there.
Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
I want this is for you. I want you to take a deep breath. Okay. I'm having trouble. You're a fast talker, and you're explaining everything. I want to be able to understand and make sure everyone's good. But I want to also give you a break to try and get some oxygen in you.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's just the
That's
whole
fine.
kids thing gets to me.
Absolutely.
That's perfect. Did you have questions?
I do. I do.
Yes.
Now, while you were going through this, at any time did that individual fire at you? Do you know if the gun went off?
I don't know, honestly. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was screaming, dropped, and the only thing I can think of was like I'm saying drop the gun. I announced myself as, the fuck is this guy pointing a gun at me? What the it was.
Okay.
I don't know if he fired around. I mean, I don't remember.
Okay. At any point, did you have any contact with that individual? Any kind of personal contact?
No.
When you were walking up?
No, again, like he jumped up and he said, "Hey, I'm okay." And I said, and I came out and said, my exact words were like, and I made sure I was speaking loud. I was like, "Hey, man, police, can I help you?" And immediately he does a step back and kind of like boom, and just draws the gun. It's basically, if you're standing right here, do you mind if I?
Absolutely. Where was?
Sure.
Okay.
You said you got out of the van here. You had indicated earlier you put your flashers on. You said something about putting your flashers on.
No. My game plan as I was coming from PGA was this. I thought it was a disabled vehicle, so I was going to pull in front of the van, in front of the SUV, and put my flashers on, walk out, and see what's going on, and call out the tag and call a tow truck if I needed to get the vehicle removed. I thought it was a broke down vehicle. There was nobody in it.
Okay. And is there a reason why you stopped here instead of pulling up?
Because the guy jumped out.
He jumped out
exactly
while you were in the car, and you have your gun in your waistband. Is it obvious that you're carrying a gun? There's no big bull.
I have a big stomach, so it kind of overhangs over the holster.
Were you wearing that same hat?
Exactly, just like this.
Okay. And you said you started firing. Was that around this area?
I believe I'm trying to think. It's like I remember he came out and said, "Drop." I. It,
Yeah, but hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking. I know. I know when he had the gun pointed at me around the car and everything. I fired. I know that.
Do you remember exactly where he was at when he? And let me go back. You said that you got out, you jumped out, and you came around here. When did the gun come into play, and where did it come from?
See, he jumped out immediately. He said, "I'm okay, man." He said, I'm okay." And I said, "Hey, man, police, can I help? Can I help you?" And second, I said, I remember.
Don't touch
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
don't
exactly.
touch.
I'm not
Go
touching
here,
anything.
just
No.
don't touch.
I remember clearly seeing this. The gun was right here. I remember seeing it above the door level, and it was in this area right here, pointing at directly at me. And I remember seeing it was a silver gun. I could clearly see the hole of the muzzle, and I could see that Laser Max laser in the guide rod flickering. It was like flickers, red on and off, on and off.
Okay. So he was in this area.
Yeah,
right
he
here.
was in this vicinity, somewhere
Right on.
in this vicinity.
Do you want to? Why don't you? Do you recall where you were standing? I know you had some difficulty. Do you know approximately where?
Somewhere in this vicinity, somewhere. I don't recall exactly
Okay,
where.
why don't you do somewhere between where and where?
Oh, let's see. So like, if I had to say something, I would probably say about like in this region right here. This would
Well,
be
I don't
this.
want you to have to say anything. That's why I asked you
Exactly.
approximate. So
I
if you're safe saying where your attorney is standing and somewhere between there and somewhere, you just let me know.
It's somewhere in this area
Okay.
right here.
Put this at the western boundary of any possibility of where you were standing.
Okay, I'm gonna put it about here. About here. Let's see.
And put this at the eastern. And take your time and arrange them how you want.
Okay. So I don't know what that for. I'll probably say about here.
Okay, so somewhere between number 1 and number 2.
Yes.
Safe to say this is where you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's when you initially came into engagement.
Well, like verbal engagement or
Well,
actually
you had spoke to him. When did you specifically see the threat?
right around this area. Because as it was happening, I still remember I was in this area and I said, "Hey, man, police, how can I help you?" And I said that clearly. And when I said that, and he immediately just jumped, and
I would never pull myself into a fatal funnel situation like this, he admits, reflecting on how he parked. That's not the language of a man certain he did everything right. That's the language of a man realizing, out loud, on the record, that his own decisions set the night in motion. He confirms the department's golden rule himself. Always treat a vehicle as occupied. Never assume otherwise. He didn't follow it. If a detail like that gives you chills, imagine what else is in the full reenactment tape. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next case breakdown. In 2019, a jury convicts Raja of manslaughter and attempted first-degree murder. He's sentenced to 25 years. Florida's appellate courts and its Supreme Court later reject his attempts to overturn it. As of now, he remains in state custody, scheduled for release in 2044. But a conviction doesn't erase the bigger problem here. This isn't really a story about one bad decision. It's a story about what happens when training, protocol, and oversight all fail on the same night for the same person at the same time. Does "I'm kicking myself in hindsight" sound like an admission to you? Tell me what you hear in his words. But even after the courtroom closed, one question was never fully answered. The court reached its verdict. Corey Jones never got the chance to reach his. Corey Jones never testified. He never got to explain what he saw, what he felt, or what he heard in those final seconds. The only version of events that comes directly from him is a roadside assistance call he made because his car broke down. Think about that for a second. The clearest piece of evidence in this entire case exists purely by accident. Corey wasn't trying to protect himself. He was trying to get a tow truck. His family has spent years pushing for accountability, for policy change, for some version of justice that brings him back, which, of course, nothing can. And here's the question that should stay with you. How many similar encounters happen every year without a call like this one running in the background? How many stories only get told one way because there was no second witness? How many stops like this do you think happen with no recording at all? Let me know what you think below. Corey Jones was just a man on hold, waiting for help that never came in time. If this case affected you the way it affected me, subscribe for the next investigation and check the description for related cases we've covered. The call ended. The questions didn't.